Well, for the second week in a row, the Premier Ted Baillieu refused our request for an interview. But Attorney General Robert Clark was available. He joined me in the studio. Robert Clark, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Well, you've heard from your former top legal advisor. Will you now reconsider a royal commission?
No, the government's given very careful consideration to the form of the inquiry. We concluded that a parliamentary inquiry was the best format for this inquiry. It's less legalistic, it's less formal, it's less confrontational, but equally importantly, it's focused on getting results that will lead to changes to the law and lead to better outcomes for children going forward.
You've been saying all week that it's the best forum for victims. Victims disagree. They wanted a royal commission.
There's a range of views amongst victims, and some victims would be very happy to give their evidence in public and before a royal commission. Other victims may well wish to have a less formal, less intrusive forum. But as I was saying, it's also important that this be focused on results. This government is getting on with tackling this problem that's been around for a long time. We don't want to have an inquiry to drag on for years. The Irish inquiry has been running for around 9 years. We want a bipartisan committee of the Parliament to look at the issues, to understand what has happened, to investigate the handling of these complaints, and then to come up with recommendations for the future, both in respect of changes to the law and changes to practices and protocols within organisations.
We've heard from John Cain that, in his words, a royal commission is the gold standard. Why don't victims deserve the gold standard inquiry?
Each inquiry needs to be put in the forum that's going to give the best results.
And don't you think a royal commission would give a better result than what 6 MPs, just average Victorians, can investigate?
No, for the reasons that I've given. And 6 MPs represent a cross-section of the community. It's on a bipartisan basis. They bring different backgrounds and skills to the inquiry.
Of course,
they'll have the expert support that they need, but they are representatives of the community, and most importantly, they can focus on and come up with results that will make a difference. And parliamentary committees in Victoria have a good record of taking on difficult issues and coming up with recommendations that make a difference.
What sort of contact did your office or yourself have with the Catholic Church prior to making this decision?
We received representations from victims groups, and we received representations from the Catholic Church, and then we considered the representations that were made to us, and we made a decision. But I should say the representations that we were receiving were in respect of an inquiry, not in respect of the form of an inquiry.
Did the Catholic Church make any representations about a royal commission?
There was no representations made to us about royal commission versus parliamentary inquiry.
Does this boil down to money? The sheer fact is that a royal commission would have cost a lot more money.
As I've explained, Josie, we concluded, and we considered all the options, but we concluded that for this investigation, where we're looking at the handling of complaints by organisations and we're looking at what changes need to be made to better protect children, a parliamentary inquiry was the appropriate forum. And it's important not to confuse the role of this inquiry with the role of investigative agencies. When it comes to criminal abuse of children, it has to be the police that are the primary investigative agency of individual offences, and then the assessment of guilt or innocence on those individual offences needs to be for the courts. And of course, where deaths have been involved, the inquest into those is a matter for decision by the coroner.
No reconsidering?
We've given it very careful consideration. We are focused on getting results. We've been prepared to tackle this issue. We believe a parliamentary inquiry is the best form.
The Coalition promised more open and accountable government, yet as the shape of your promised anti-corruption commission is becoming more apparent, we're learning that most of the hearings will be kept in secret. Why?
Well, all IBACs and similar bodies need to have rules as to which hearings they'll have in private and which hearings they'll have in public. There needs to be a balancing between the public interest in exposing and scrutinising potential corrupt conduct versus the potential prejudicial effects. There are rules for ICAC in New South Wales, there are rules for other investigative bodies, there are rules for our IBAC, but ultimately it will be a decision for the IBAC itself as to the form of each inquiry or hearing.
Is it correct that the majority of hearings will be in camera, so no one knows about them?
There is a presumption that hearings will be in private. Bear in mind this is an investigative body, it's not a judicial body, but at the end of the day it will be up to the Commissioner to balance those considerations and make a decision on his or her judgment as to which is the appropriate form in each instance.
Why should it be the presumption that they're kept secret? Doesn't justice have to be seen to be done?
Well, it does, but you also have to make sure that you're not acting in an unfairly prejudicial manner. Bear in mind that this is, as I said, an investigative body, it's not a judicial body. Every one of these bodies needs rules as to when they hold hearings in private and when they hold hearings in public, and it's a matter of balancing the public interest against avoiding unfair prejudice.
Robert Clark, thanks very much for your time today.
Thanks, Josie.